Hey, folks, it's time for our worm topic of the week. And this week, what we're talking about is building sustainable soil ecosystems or ecosystem. Most people think that living soil or organic growing or regenerative and sustainable agriculture is just this gardening buzzword. And that's usually where people are kind of wrong. And why their gardens never really turn into self sustaining things. So let me explain. Anybody can grow plants, right? We can do it, but it takes a little bit more to be able to grow or create or build a system. These two are not the same and they don't behave the same. The reason that it doesn't work is because people focus on feeding the plant instead of building an ecosystem. So let me explain. A lot of us as gardeners, we've been kind of taught or through social media and all these other posts and things is to look at plants and be able to see what's wrong with them, diagnose them, figure out what nutrients they're missing, and then give that to them, right? It doesn't matter if the leaves are turning yellow, orange, purple, green, yellow, black, brown. If the leaves are changing in colors, you go online, it tells you that they're deficient in iron, manganese, zinc, copper, whatever it is. And then you go to the store, you buy this thing, and you put it on your soil. We're feeding the plant at that point. We're not building a system that will do all of this on its own. If we look at the pests, right, that are attacking our plants, and then all of a sudden we're like, okay, we've got these aphids, caterpillars, mites, thrips, whatever, and then we go to Google and we go to Facebook or all these other social media places, and we're like, okay, ways to fix them: copper fungicide, herbicide, or this, that, and the other pesticide, neem oil, all these other things, and we spray it on there. We're treating the plant. We're not treating the ecosystem. This is where most of us as gardeners go wrong. And it's not our fault. This is just the way we were kind of taught. This is how I was taught when I first started out, right? I just looked at whatever was on the commercials and that's what I went with. Until I found out what a living soil is, growing organically, how to work with soil and microbiology and work with the plants the way Mother Nature does it. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't fancy. It's not, there's no secret to it. It's just like losing weight. Everybody knows what the right answer is. You know it. When I say, what's the key to losing weight? Everybody's like, eating right and exercising. That is it. But when it comes to losing weight, we've got all these different diets. We've got all these different meal prepping things. We've got all this stuff that, or these different types of exercise, these different types of meals, right, that will help us lose weight. But at the end of the day, it comes back down to the basics, which aren't sexy, which aren't elaborate, which aren't like this magical thing. And it's not a buzzword, so it doesn't get a lot of attention, which is diet and exercise. When it comes to soil and growing organically, the exact same thing happens. It's not fancy. It's not, this new crazy buzzword. But at the essence of it, it is the foundation of what gets plants to grow. You only need a few things. And everybody has access to it. Everybody has it. Compost. Or basically the way we teach it in the community is air, water, food, and microbes. You get those four, you understand these four principles, and you put those to work. You build the ecosystem and it takes care of itself. Just like a diet when you're eating correctly. Fruits, veggies, carbohydrates, protein. When you understand these four and how they work in the body and you eat them correctly, and you do a little bit of exercise, boom, Things just happen. It's not fancy, unfortunately. It's just not. Living soil isn't either. Growing organically isn't either. But at the end of the day, you do less of that paying attention to the plant. What's going on? What do I need to fix? Just leave it alone. The system takes care of itself. And we talk about these 4 principles in the community, right? Oh, yeah. And if you find this type of stuff interesting or useful, go ahead and like, share, or join our community in the description below for more tidbits of information like this. Now let's get back to it. Every living thing needs air. Living thing needs water. Every living thing needs food to be able to survive. Doesn't matter if you're a tree, a plant, a microbe, a human, a dog, a cat, a bird. We all need those basic things. The soil is no different. It is a living, breathing organism, and it needs all of those. Now, in order for it to be living and breathing, there have to be microorganisms in it. And a lot of our soils, this is where the kicker is, don't have the right microorganisms in them. Maybe they have microorganisms, but is it the right ones to get your plants to grow and do what it's supposed to? Are you eating the right carbohydrates, right? You can eat fried cauliflower all day long and call it a carbohydrate, but is that a good carb? Because it's breaded. I'm going with the breaded cat or breaded fruit. Oh my goodness, breaded vegetables here, okay? If you fry them, they're no longer that good for you, right? Or you're not getting the things that you need. So we got to understand that, and this is what we talk about in the community. The next thing is one of the biggest misconceptions is that this living, breathing, living soil growing organically is expensive, it's complicated, and it's only for, those advanced people or those really hippie people, which my wife, I guess, is telling me that I'm a hippie now. I don't know if I believe that, but it's overcomplicated. This system it's too much. Growing organically is just like losing weight. It's just simple. There's nothing really hard about it. It's really not. Now we can overcomplicate it. We can make it more expensive, right? But at the end of the day, it's really not. You need air, water, some compost, and some microorganisms, maybe some worm castings in there. That's it. And you can get plants to grow. Again, it's about being consistent, not complex. We can make it as difficult as we want it to be. We can talk about chemistry. We can talk about cation exchange capacity. We can talk about the nutrients available in your soil. We can talk about pH. We can talk about pests. We can talk about nutrient deficiencies. We can talk about the weather. We can talk about shade. We can talk about types of water, alkaline, right? Or acidic water. We can talk about all of this, but at the end of the day, it's the basic and the foundation that make organic growing or growing with a living soil work. It's not the complexity of it. We can make it complex. We most definitely can, but it doesn't need to be. Think of a living soil like an ecosystem in nature, or your backyard, or your garden, wherever you're growing. It's an ecosystem. That ecosystem needs certain things for it to be able to survive and thrive. The ocean is an ecosystem. It needs certain things in order to thrive and survive. The forest is an ecosystem. It needs things in order to thrive and survive. Us as humans have our ecosystems, whether that ecosystem is our household, our family, our neighborhood, our city, our state, our country. It's an ecosystem, and we need things to survive and thrive. The soil is no different here. It needs things. And that goes back to those 4 basic principles: air, water, food, and microbes. Air, water, food, and microbes. If we can get at those things, if we can get to plant those things, everything else kind of falls into place. We can make it complicated, but there's really no reason to. When we have all these things in place, nutrient cycling just naturally occurs. Plants have access to all the nutrients they would ever need. ultimately the plant is in control and it decides its own fate, but only if the soil has the ability the soil has the ability to be able to support it. The plant is ultimately in control in this. It really is. Again, at the end of the day, we don't have to overcomplicate it. Air, water, food, and microbes. If we get the soil right, we add some compost and worm castings, keep it water, keep it covered, do all the basic things, we can get our plants to grow and do what they need to, organically utilizing a living soil. And now we're fostering an ecosystem, not just feeding the plant. There's 1,000 different ways to grow. There's 1,000 different ways to skin a cat. There's 1,000 different ways to do things to get the same result. All I'm saying is that this method isn't fancy. It's not a magic bean. It's been around for a very long time, but it's just like diet and exercise. Most people just don't want to do that and they rather go for a specific diet or a specific exercise regimen when the basics will get you there and get you what you want. Same thing with the living soil and growing plants. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.